Hey guys!
Hey guys, how are y'all?
This is Mark and Michelle, episode 17. We looked into it. We have been married for...
Well, it will be 24 years on July 22nd.
And Mark started out as an Aspie. We didn't know it.
Yep.
Then we figured it out. And then we found diets.
We found diets to figure that out.
Exactly how long ago did we start the diet?
Well, July 9th of this year, so 5 days ago, was 5 years ago that we started my healing from autism. And that was in 2013, in case the math is difficult. And so July 9th of 2013, we started the GAPS diet. We spent 4.5 years on that. Then this past January, we started on the medical medium diet to heal adrenals and heavy metal toxicity and livers and all kinds of other things. But that's working out real well too. So this past week is our 5th anniversary of the healing journey for us. So
yay! High five that!
Yay! Woo!
Now, Mark, 5 years ago this day, can you give me an idea of what might have been going on in your mind?
If anything, let's try this diet and see if it works. That was it, just that plain, because I wasn't having any hopes about whether it changed or not. I wasn't even thinking about whether my autism would disappear or not. And so when you brought the information to me, we only talked about it maybe a day or two. I don't even think we talked about it longer than that, than I can remember. And so we just decided, you know what, let's do this, because I could do all the cooking. I had been cooking professionally ever since 1985. So
let's say the day before that.
The day before
that, what might have been happening in your mind?
The day before
we decided to start the diet. And give us an insight into your Aspie self.
I think what you're asking is, was I thinking that there would be a possibility of leaving the autism behind?
Did you even think that it was possible? Yeah, maybe that's where I'm going.
Truthfully, I didn't know whether you could or not. I think people have been done a disservice, either by the medical community or well-meaning other people or whatever, when they're told you can't heal autism. How do you know? Those people who said that, how do you know? Have you had autism? Have you lived through it? Have you had a loved one with autism? I understand that there may be people who have autism who can't be healed. I'm not talking about those folks. But how do you know unless you've tried? Don't tell anybody jack unless you know. So that's the thing. I didn't get told that. Nobody ever said you can't heal autism, you can't get it, you can't lose it, you can't recover from it. Nobody ever said that to me.
And you kind of trusted me, I think.
Well, I always trusted you because I could always tell inherently that you were smarter when it came to the ways of the world. And so
that's hilarious.
Well, so as far as that, and besides having almost all that biology degree and a science background and that kind of stuff, it made basic scientific sense that if you heal up your gut, you're going to heal up your immune system and your nutrition and everything else. And so that made sense to me scientifically. So logically, it made sense. Emotionally, it didn't. I didn't have any emotions one way or another.
Did you even have hope? Was there like...
I wasn't even thinking about
hope.
But see, if you have to think about hope, you're not really having it because you're thinking about hope, not having hope.
Right. So hope is an emotion.
Hope is emotion. It really is. And so I wasn't even thinking about that. Wasn't even feeling that. Whatever. I was just like, let's try it and see. But then, like 3 years later, 4 years. It's been 3 years later. You said to me, I didn't even think the diet was going to work. I was holding out no hope. And that was when I looked at you.
I was unattached.
You were definitely unattached to the outcome.
Yeah.
But even any improvement was going to be better than what she was having to live through and what I was having to live through. So even some improvement is better. And even this week, I had a client, a regular client yesterday, a coaching client. He's 24. He's on the spectrum, been trying to get a job. And I finally said, look, I see the frustrations you're going through, and this is really difficult for you trying to get a job. I said, if you had a chance to lose your Asperger's syndrome, would you? Before I was able to finish that sentence, vehemently he replied, yes. So, whether he's going to be motivated enough to do the diet or not still remains to be seen. But I can coach him through that as well. Because I told him, this will change your life 360 degrees. You won't come around back to where you are now, I'm saying, but you will be so much better off that in a year or two down the road, you'll wonder why you didn't do this before. And so I told him, look, think about this over the next week. When we meet next week at our regularly scheduled time, we'll talk about it some more. So he left, and at 11 o'clock that night, almost exactly 12 hours after we met, he texted me and he said this: thank you for advising me on the diet. It never occurred to me that I might be able to lose my Asperger's syndrome. And I said, I saw your frustrations because I had the exact same. I said, yours are a little tougher than mine. Your autism is a little more severe. I said, but if there's a way you can get rid of it and actually live a life that you want to live instead of what autism dictates to you, then let's try it. So he's going to think about it this week, and we'll discuss it next week. And with his permission, I'll update you on what he says. But anyway, why should someone's dreams, why should someone's life take a back seat because of a disability? And I consider it a disability. I just didn't understand why my dreams and wants in life should take a back seat to that. It should be dictated to by my autism. And if other people feel the same way, then I suggest you come to me or Michelle and I, and we can help you move past that disability and put it in your past if you want to do that.
And we realize that some of you, we are a controversial page, and some of you don't want to be seen on here. We have discussed a closed group,
and that way you can feel free to discuss what you want.
Ask us questions.
Ask each other questions. It will be a support group, and there will be policies in place
for protection
for everybody's mutual benefit. And so we're going to be discussing that over the next couple of weeks, and I think we'll probably wind up putting that together, because I think while I like our page Heal Your Autism, I want people to feel free to talk to us and talk to each other. Down in front.
They can't see him.
They can't see him? Okay.
No.
All right.
They can see us.
All right.
We can't see us.
One of the kitties is in front of the screen, so we can barely see us on the screen, but you guys can't see him. So never mind. You're good.
So, Mark, I asked you a question today. What was a really cool, stunning thing that happened to you this week?
A really cool, stunning thing that happened to me this week. Okay, now you can see down in front. There we go. Well, and I've been working on this for the past, I'll be honest, I've been working on this for over 8.5 years, learning to love myself more. Why is that important? That's important because the more you love yourself, the more, and I'm not talking about arrogance, I'm not talking about overconfidence, I'm not talking about any of that. All of those emotions, arrogance, overconfidence, those come from fear.
It's really releasing judgments.
Yes, loving yourself is releasing judgments about yourself so that you feel free and joyful to live your life the way you want to. And again, this feeds back into, for me, autism as a disability. Losing my autism was one of the ultimate acts of self-love that I have ever done for me. And healing, and then the rest of my health, taking charge and responsibility of the rest of my health, was another one of those. And it's important to learn to love yourself because it makes your life flow easier. You start to understand your meaning for you. In other words, what you mean to you. You also understand what you mean to other people. And it's so important to live your life in as much freedom as you can. For me, my autism did not allow that. So losing my autism, healing from it, was one of the best things that I have ever done for me. Again, it was one of the best things that I've ever done for me. But you know what? As well, it was one of the best things I ever did for her.
It was a lovely gift.
It was. And I'll be honest, I couldn't have started it. I probably wouldn't have known about it without her. And so her bringing it to my attention was a wonderful gift. But then us working together for me to lose my autism is another wonderful gift. Even more than that, she is healing herself from all the issues that she had: Lyme disease, possible chronic fatigue,
fibromyalgia,
numerous things. And so now we're healthier than we've ever been. We have a stronger relationship than we've ever had, and we'll only get better. So ultimately, the big thing for me was learning how to love myself more. And what I mean by that is realizing that things that I love to do, I should do. Why? Because they make me happy. If you're happy, to be honest, you're loving yourself, because you're finding out what makes you happy and you're doing that.
You're in the flow.
You're in the flow. And Louise Hay, one of our favorite authors, used to say, one of the best things you can do for yourself is wake up every morning and go, what can I do to make myself happy today? So that was the thing for me this week. A big landmark for me was learning that what I want to do in life is perfectly fine, because this was what I was meant to do. It was what makes me happy, and being happy and loving myself is the best gift I can give anybody else, because then I'm in a position to actually give. I heard a saying recently that those who have the hardest hearts were the ones who gave more than they could. And if that makes sense to you now, then you get it, but I'll quickly explain it. Some of the people who wind up being closed off the most from others, and I won't say all people are like this, but some, wound up giving more of themselves than they could, and they wound up either becoming bitter or having to protect themselves and shut down. Now, I think you were like that. I think that's what happened to you once you realized I had autism. We hadn't labeled it at that point, but you gave as much as you could, and you gave too much.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had to close down.
Well, as a caregiver, you have to give more than you have.
Yes, but see, you're not in a position to give more than you have unless you already have it, if that makes sense.
But you have to anyway.
Well, but you have to anyway. That's true. Or not. There is that option. But
well, I could have divorced you.
You could have, but you and I were stronger than that, apparently.
Yeah, apparently.
So, because we're still here.
Right.
And but loving yourself is absolutely the best thing you can do. Learning to love yourself, really, that's it. Learning to love yourself and then loving yourself is the best gift you can give to you and to everyone else. So that was the big thing for me, is learning how to love myself more this week. And it was awesome.
I think that's it for today.
That is it for today. Thank you for the 2 people I saw watching.
Yay!
So, yay! Thanks, guys, and we'll get back to you more.